Okay, there are a lot of cool smokers. In history especially. You're right about that. The funny thing is, the further you go back in history, the cooler they are. And this should be setting off some serious alarm bells for all of you liberal smokers out there. Because how can you complain about those lunatic right-wingers trying to knock us back into the 1950s and then bring up images from some glorious past to justify smoking? When Humphrey Bogart died, the South was still segregated, abortion was illegal, and Eisenhower had just signed an executive order purging gays and lesbians from all areas of public employment, a move that the private sector was only too eager to follow. When George Orwell started smoking, India was a British colony, and 3 years before he died, India became independent largely due to the efforts of a non-smoker. Now, it's not as if you've got a chance in hell of being as cool as Gandhi. But if you're gonna amount to anything at all, you're not gonna do it by emulating dead movie stars. Okay, first of all, I'm not emulating dead movie stars, alright? Don't be snide. And second of all, don't you ever talk about Gandhi to me, you prissy, non-smoking, judgmental weasel. Gandhi didn't make a difference in the world by caring whether people smoked or not. And even today, there are 1,000 things you could put your mind to that are more important than the anti-smoking movement. We've got racism, sexism, poverty, bigotry of all different shades, environmental degradation, broken educational system. All perfectly good problems you could be confronting right now. But do you confront them? No. You think poverty is just awful, but do you even know what the minimum wage is? You say you're not a racist, but then you move to all white neighborhoods and say they're the best types of places to raise your kids. You say you're not a sexist, but then somehow your daughters end up learning that being horny is disgusting, and your sons end up learning it's okay to grab people's asses as long as they express the proper amount of contrition. And then, because you're a complete moral failure, you look to somebody to feel superior to, and find me, the smoker. And you know what? You can kiss my smoky ass, because I don't care. You can prance around in your running shorts, lifting the weights, eating the health food, trying to prolong your life. You must think the future's going to be a damn fine place to spend that much time on a stationary bicycle. No, really, I mean it. You're an optimist, and I'm a pessimist, and there's nothing I can do to keep you from thinking that the future's going to be a damn fine place. So why don't you hop in your SUV and go on off to Equinox or Crunch or wherever it is you go. Me, I'm going to stay here and smoke. Because every cigarette I light is a tiny little protest march against people like you. So let me get this straight. You're telling me smoking's rebellious, that it's practically a form of social protest, that you can actually separate yourself from the people who don't care about all the things you care about by sitting around smoking cigarettes, maybe putting some Rage Against the Machine on the stereo? What are you, 15? Have you learned at least some math? Because if you have, you should know that if you gave $7 a day to Christian Children's Fund or Greenpeace or the ACLU instead of spending it on cigarettes, you might actually help get something done. But that'd ruin your little bitch fest, wouldn't it? I know this probably sounds really boring and bourgeois to you, but why don't you think of quitting smoking as a gesture of faith in your ability to get something done rather than sitting around complaining with your cigarettes? And if you live long enough to see the world become an overheated wasteland because the do-gooders of your youth focus too much on keeping people from smoking and not enough on keeping them from eating Big Macs and driving SUVs, you can still decide that there's nothing you can do but kill yourself. Maybe you can even lead a movement. Conscientious objectors to living or something. At least you'll have the strength to do it with a little dignity instead of coughing up your guts in some hospital. I mean, look at yourself right now. You're 29, near the peak of your physical potential. Smoking isn't helping you any, but your youth makes up for a lot, and even with the coughing fits, you're managing all right. But is all right good enough? Your life, obviously, is finite. And even though you smoked for a long time, you're still young enough to have a chance to quit now and feel what it's like to be young and healthy, to really be physically at the height of your power. But if you wait until you're 40 or 50 or 60 to quit, you won't have that chance. Not only will your youth be over, but you'll never know what it could have been. And what's so damn cool about that? Now, I love smoking. I really do. Just the thought of sitting down with a cup of coffee, a pack of Marlboros, and a slice of pizza makes me very happy. And the idea of never being able to do that again really scares me. When I ask myself why that scares me so much, I realize that I've been putting off quitting smoking not just because I'm used to it, but because I'm afraid of dying. Ironic, I know. But In order to really make the decision to spend the rest of your life a certain way, you have to acknowledge that one day your life will be over, and that if you quit smoking, it's for good. You'll never feel the pizza and coffee and Marlboros running through your veins all at the same time again. And in all your life from here on out, you won't be able to start up a conversation by asking for a light. But if you continue to smoke, you'll be in the opposite fix. You'll live out your life with weakened lungs, diminished strength, a body constantly laboring to undo the damage caused by smoking. You'll never know what it's like to not feel this way, or to make your decisions without the help of cigarettes, and then you'll die. So, I've smoked about 30 cigarettes a day for the last 11 years. And I know for some of you more dedicated smokers, 120,000 cigarettes probably doesn't seem like a whole lifetime's worth. But for me, it's close enough. And since I've got the chance to experience life as a non-smoker now, I'm taking it.